Michelle, hey, how are you? Hi, Mark.
Good evening.
Hey, Kim. Well, I know Carl is not going to join us, but that's the only person that I've heard from. I'm assuming everybody else is joining us, but oh, you know what? Luke is not joining us. Sorry, that's right. Luke is not going to be on. But let me see where Tom is here. Hi, Tom.
Good afternoon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close.
Very.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Mark, that was you in front of us the other day, right?
That's correct.
We never did find a way to jump in.
Yeah, it was okay. We weren't going anywhere.
It was pretty crowded. Uh, I guess let's get started. I know that Carl is traveling. I don't know about Mark or mind blank here. I don't know where the rest of our members are.
Yeah. Brad, I don't know if Brad's joining or not. He didn't indicate one way or another. Luke is not going to join us today.
Okay. Well, let's get going.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the agenda. Sorry, I had to switch computers. My primary computer that I was planning on using decided not to be my primary computer. Call to order done. Opportunity for public comments. I don't see anybody here. Anybody lurking out there?
I don't see anybody, Tom.
Apparently not. Okay, approval of minutes from the August 19th meeting. Any changes, additions, corrections, et cetera, et cetera? If not, would someone move approval, please?
This is Mark. No changes, edits. I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Mark. Could we have a second? I'll second it. All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Jeremy, are you acting as secretary with Carl being out? Okay. All right.
Yep.
But Mark, we
question.
take volunteers.
This is fine. I got it.
That didn't even get a smile out of him. I don't get it.
I got it. I smiled.
Oh, I know you did, but well, Mark's busy getting a cup of coffee. Golf operation financial update.
Nothing drastically changed from, previous weeks, I guess. We did meet with a USGA course consultant today, which was a very enlightening and, in my opinion, a very worthy visit from the USGA. So we're looking at things in terms of the overall condition of our turf, specifically looking at the greens and the fairways. The fairways were the big topic for sure. So there's some practices that we're going to try to implement going forward, and some fertility programs that we were lacking in the previous years just due to budget constraints. And so there's some preventative maintenance things that we're gonna look to implement beginning next year to continue the improvement of the conditions of our fairways. I would say that is arguably our weakest link at this current moment in time.
Fascinating. Oh, cool.
But I think it was really good for me to be out there with the maintenance team for 6 hours today and just going through the golf course, taking soil samples and just diving into kind of the why of things. So
How'd it feel to be on the golf course for a change?
tell you what, I stepped on Six Woods Green for the second time this year, and I'm going, oh, this is a pretty good condition green. Shame on me though. That's my fault, and I need to do a better job. Just time.
Financial update, anything new?
Yeah, nothing new. I mean, we're right on track. Yeah, I was just plugging some numbers earlier today just to see if there's any surprises, and we're right on track of where we're predicting to be. It's a healthy year, and I think we budgeted appropriately. And then the third quarter will be presented the next meeting.
Right.
From the expenses and the revenue side of things.
Yeah.
But
Question.
gross revenues, right now we're just under our annual budget for golf, right? So about 10K under for golf, and we're about 18K over in food and beverage.
Great.
Yeah. So again, healthy year, which we've been discussing the last couple of meetings.
Yeah. Questions from anyone?
And I think the only other update is I do have a budget presentation on the 23rd. Other than that, there's no further updates in terms of budgeting standpoint. I'll present it to the finance committee on the 23rd.
Okay. You're recommending approval of a quote for fencing and a gate?
Yeah, so you should know the history on this one, but we've had a couple further incidences in regards to the cell tower and people accessing the cell tower. The other, maybe a Sunday and a half ago, I can't remember which Sunday it was. I was out on the golf course, and at 7:30 p.m. noticed, we were just out on the course checking out. I was with my kids on the par 3 course, and I was checking out just to see what this group of kids were doing, and lo and behold, they were hopping the fence and heading over into the quarry. And they ended up parking at the cell tower. I did have a conversation with the kids, and obviously they were removed from the property. But this is just again a continuing theme that's been trending, I'd say, over the last month, 2 months since the bridge did open. The quarry did implement or place some no trespassing signs, so they've certainly seen some activity as well. So this is going forward. I mean, you probably read my memo. This is what we were planning on doing anyway. We were just kind of seeing the trends, and I think now it's just I'm seeking recommendation for your approval to move this forward to finance. Brian Gatto and is very well aware of this, and it should be no surprise from the city's standpoint. This will be under Pleasant View Golf Course's budget, so we will manage it. We're not seeking from any other department to fund this. This was something that we have already budgeted in our capital expenditures. And so this will tie into our sign that we've kind of always talked about this. This is now we're ready to move forward with it.
It does not appear to me that the no trespassing signs that the quarry put up are going to last very long.
No, the kids went right by it. Went right by it. And they
Well, if it rains, they're gone. So
what's that?
If it rains, the sign is going to be gone anyway. It's
yeah.
piece of paper stapled to a stick.
So what this does is this improves, and for everybody, just so everybody's aware, this is going on to what we talked about last meeting, that I did meet with John from the mountain bike community, and he's on board with this plan. He doesn't see any concerns with it. He's actually in agreement with it, and I feel like this will alleviate a lot of the stress that Pleasant View Golf Course staff is having.
Questions or comments before we take action here? Or we can do it right and take action and then discuss it further.
Yeah.
I'm going to move approval. Can I get a second?
Michelle,
Madden, I'll second.
All
Or-
right. We have 2 seconds.
I'll put Kim. Sorry, I heard Kim first.
Discussion, further discussion. All in favor, say
And Kim, so when you're at council, again, I think it's really important to note that we did talk to the bike community about this, right? They are aware. Brian is aware. Kylie is aware. This is not a secret by any stretch of the imagination. So everybody is on board and aware, and it's to improve the safety and security of our driveway.
Nope, I think that's great.
Great, thanks, Kim.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay.
And then just so that that's going to finance tomorrow night,
Good.
finance and common council tomorrow.
Good. Approval of site plan for the cross-country trail system network. I didn't read that.
So
There was a lot there.
Yep, let me give you just a little bit of back. You know what? It's
Yeah,
probably best
sure.
for me to share my screen if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Can you guys see the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just scroll down here. Sorry, I know it's a lot there. This is what I was sent by Kylie from the Parks Department. And obviously, as you know, there's a relationship between the city of Middleton, Pleasant View Golf Course, the Parks Department, because there's a pretty high vested interest in terms of that land use. Parks is obviously using it for the mountain bike community and some of the. I don't exactly know what they're planning on using it going forward, but then of course we've got the cross country ski community as well that utilize Pleasant View Golf Course land and the CFC land during the winter months. From a building, I need to zoom out here. I apologize, guys. From a building standpoint, right? Like this building is not on Pleasant View Golf Course land. So, this is not necessarily Pleasant View Golf Course's concern. Now, it is, to what degree, Kim, that it's on the city of Middleton land. I'm not a professional in terms of what the city of Middleton has done with this or where are the land. is. So I'm only going to speak to Pleasant View Golf Course on this in this instance. And what we have concerns over, and I need to find it now, so I apologize, guys. Golly, what page was that on? Again, I'm sorry, bear with me. Should have noted the page. Does anybody have the page number? Okay, there we go, right there. Okay. Okay.
Jeremy, what page number are you looking
It'd
at?
be page 38.
Okay.
All right. And let me just zoom in so that people can actually see now. Let's go. Now, note this verbiage. Oh, geez. This is the problem with this stuff right here. Okay. Note that verbiage right there, future trail system paved path not approved at this time and only shown for reference only. Final locations to be approved, permitted separately. Now Kylie was asking, for approval for to be sent to this committee in terms of the overall trail networking for the cross country ski or CXC site. And what I have a problem with is this trail right down here. So do you see where my cursor is and then this horizontal line right there?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the property line, right? And now if you recall, north of the mountain bike trail, that belongs to the Parks Department, and south of the mountain bike trail belongs to Pleasant View Golf Course. Well, this is on Pleasant View Golf Course land, and the 9th tee box, think like the green tees, are right here. And
You're talking woods.
Yep, on the woods course.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark. Yep.
Yeah.
And I have a huge concern over a paved path with summer activities here. I do not believe, it's just my opinion as of today, that this committee should not approve, even though this is a concept. We should publicly state, again, this is my opinion, that we do not approve this trail system. Right now, the building itself, I don't know that. However you guys want to weigh your opinion on that, that's fine. I just think more information needs to be presented to this body of people before we can make an informed decision whether it's an approval or not. Again, I don't know. I don't know if it's something we want to get into, folks, that close to our golf course land. And then the other issue is like, this is a paved area right here. Well, the 8th green of woods is right near there, right? And so these are all things. And then this system right here is running parallel with the 8th fairway, right? And what are they going to do here? And I would proceed with caution, at least until we know more.
Why are these loops on course land?
It's a great question. I don't know that answer. And Yuri knows this. I did meet with Yuri, and he's understanding, and he knows that he needs to get in front of you all and go through a conversation, right? Other than what you and I are having right now, because we just know so little. Just think we need to have more information before we can recommend anything in regards to these trail systems on Pleasant View Golf Course land.
Is there existing trails right where these are at? The way they're drawn in right now, or
yep, they're existing.
Is this exactly where they're at right now?
Yep, they're existing cross-country ski trails that are used for winter activity only.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So not non-golf season.
Okay.
But to give you a little bit of an idea, we had a high school meet, and there were some I don't know who exactly they were in the pump track, and some of the girls actually did complain about the noise coming from the pump track, which that's, think like that's over here, right? You see my cursor?
Mhm.
And then this is an open space. If you all look left from the tee boxes, you can see the pump track.
Yes, you can.
And the ladies' tee is right there. And so there were complaints, and that's over on this piece of property, right? And there's nothing we can do about that because we don't own that. But
We
my
sold the
concern
land in the
is
first place.
what's that?
We sold this land. We sold the land thereon in the first place to avoid this very issue.
No, the land north of the bike trail, which is somewhere in where my cursor is. So
No,
this
that loop is on our land.
that loop is on our land, as is this.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. We sold all the land on the north side to avoid getting caught up or trying to end the longstanding argument on stuff on golf course property.
And this is again where I think Yuri should come in front of you all and just explain what his vision is, and maybe more information can come out of it than what I'm giving you. I just don't have a ton other information other than what I'm giving you right now.
So are they asking us for preliminary plat approval? Or are they looking just for guidance from the committee? Say, yes, the design of the building looks great. We have a concern about this particular loop that we'd like addressed before it gets final approval, because this isn't final approval. This is preliminary.
But Kim, I think that'd be really wise for us to say, hey, we've got some concerns before anything, right? This, in my opinion, needs to get approved by golf. This over here, right? All these trail systems, there's nothing we can do about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, this prohibit. I mean, you could say that, whatever. It's not currently where the tee boxes are, but it's going to prohibit you doing anything, Jeremy. Recommend in the future for future design. Like, boy, what if we, as time passes, what if we want to move a tee box over or remove these trees and make the hole look different or whatever? That's one. I don't know why the creep is seems pretty significant onto the golf property. Maybe because it's just, well, you're not using it right now. It's not interfering with a tee shot or a golf shot. But
so maybe let me clarify as to why. And Mark, I agree with you wholeheartedly. What we lost a pretty large white pine right here that was kind of like it's helps block some of those trail systems, right? But what if we lose another tree or two or whatever? It would just be a bummer to have trails right next to a tee box, and then not to mention you got further tee boxes back here. I mean, it becomes a safety concern as well, right? And that's my also concern over here. This is right in the landing zone of 8 Woods.
right.
It's only what 20, not even 20 yards away from our rough line. I mean, that's you all know that's not enough yardage.
In all seriousness, I've hit 2 approach shots in the last few weeks that have been gone long. I didn't judge them right. Then it's like I ain't even looking for that one, and it sure seems like it's approaching that trail there.
Yeah, 100%. But so let's go back to your concern here in the creek that you said, Mark. There's a large ravine right here, and I don't have a topo map here, but there's a large ravine that runs right there. And that's the reason why Yuri wants to loop it around here. If he kept it right here, he would be on Park's land, but you'd have to build a bridge.
Yeah.
And why doesn't he loop it a lot further north?
Great question. Those would be questions for Yuri. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this is politely called an incursion. And we had a former alder who would call it an illegal taking. So I don't want to jump to the latter. But from my own viewpoint, I sure want a lot, I want to know a lot more about why this incursion is there. Mark, I agree with you. It freezes any future activity by the golf course in those areas.
Mhm.
And Jeremy, I agree too that some of these certainly represent pretty serious safety issues. Other comments from the committee members?
Well, I'd like to hear Parks weigh in on it and talk a little bit more about why exactly that design is designed the way that it is before I approve or disapprove anything. But again, if they need us to, are they looking for us to just provide guidance?
I think, Kim, you said it very professionally, right? That, you know, if you want to weigh in your opinion on the building or everything north, it looks great, but we have concerns before we can approve, or whatever the first verbiage you said. I thought that was very nicely put. I do not think we should approve this trail system until
I would agree with Kim. I can't approve or disapprove of it without, I need more information on this before we can say specifically why we don't want it here. I'd sure like to hear what the reasons are for them wanting it this way.
Right, and I think we can get that if they need us to. Do they need us to approve the preliminary design with an amendment that says, okay, we approve the preliminary design except for that particular loop we need to move? I just want them to not have to stall the project.
you could say, hey, everything
month.
north of Pleasant View Golf Course property, or I wish I had a like parcel number, this parcel number and this parcel number, right? Looks great. The concept looks great. However, for parcel number 9010-2 and 01-8, we have concerns before we can officially approve or not approve anything.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just a thought, right?
Yeah,
because it's these two, right? This is all of this. We're not talking about any of this up here.
Right.
It's this. This
Well,
is
and
on golf course. This stuff is on golf course land.
Right. And in the winter, that is part of the cross-country ski trail. Is that correct?
We have call it a handshake agreement.
Yeah.
That the CXC can use Pleasant View Golf Course land, and we don't charge them anything for it.
Okay. We just don't want it paved.
Correct.
Got
Right.
it.
I don't have a problem with this continuing being used during the winter months. Let's call it November 15th and on, or whatever our off season is, right? Which is varied lately. But and same thing here, right? We do not have an interest in making this a trail system for whatever it is that they're using. I think there's probably a couple of reasons, but I'm venturing to guess that Yuri is wanting to design trails for people to use. I don't know what they're called, like the dry skis, like they're on
yeah
rollers, and I know that they want to do races, and they have a race out here on October 5th. Now, not on golf course land. I did talk to Yuri. It's all going to be on the north side, like on the Erdman property. But those are the concerns that we have. Is we can't have these events or people going through here right next to a tee box where people have paid to be there, and they unfortunately with golf they expect a serene environment as opposed to maybe people chirping in their backswing. right? Golfers don't want that, right, wrong, or indifferent. And that's my concern. It's just, I don't know that once it's paved, boy, it's
Mhm.
gonna.
All right, well, I would prefer to not move on anything until we get a better understanding from the Parks Department about the nature of the design and
Well,
get an alternate.
Jim, my
Like we-
concern is if we don't tell them something, they're likely to assume the best from their perspective.
well, and so to clarify, the Parks Department for this area here, they do not. This is not under their jurisdiction.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so this would be under Pleasant View, but I think Yuri needs to get in here, and present what his dream is.
So I think we have to, obviously, we have to say something. From my perspective, it's still the incursion onto golf course property. And I guess I'd leave it at that.
Jeremy, do you need a motion of some kind here, or do we just need to report back some guidance?
I think I need guidance from you all saying that you cannot approve it, or you can approve the stuff to the north. It just the trail system to the south on Pleasant View Golf Course land is. I really think we need to make a statement. I really do. Just for right now, until we have more information. Now, what that statement is, whether it's a not approve or a no move or whatever it is, I just think we need to make a public statement.
All right, let me think about how to word this.
Yeah, exactly.
So we would move to approve the initial design concept with the exception of the pavement on parcel number 078-094-9010-2, which is owned by the Pleasant View Golf Course, with further review about the design prospect of that loop on the trail. Does that work?
Read it in one piece, please.
Because that gets across that we like everything about it except that part, and that's going to need further design review.
I think we don't have any opinion about what they're doing on their property. I don't think we need to have an opinion about what they're doing. Just as I would not expect to go to Parks and ask for their opinion on our maintenance building. I think that's a bad precedent to set. I think that I think we have no opinion on what they do north of our boundaries, but we have serious operational and what do I want to say? Injury concerns about plans on our property.
Therefore, at this time, cannot approve the trail system on Pleasant View Golf Course land.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll massage. Well, okay. Let's say we have no opinion regarding the concept north of the property line, but we do have serious concerns regarding the trail on PBGC property. Therefore, at this time, we cannot endorse or approve. Getting wordy.
No, it's not too wordy. I think you're just about on it right now. And I like your word endorse, frankly. It's a nice word in this case. Suggest we're willing to talk and listen, which we are.
Right. I think we just need more information at this time.
Yeah. Kim, is that all right with you? Is that supportable?
You mean as far as a general motion
Yeah.
or just kind of I mean, are we making a motion or are we just giving them feedback?
I think we have to give them feedback somehow. Does it have to be a motion? Why can't that statement just be in our minutes? We looked at their plans. We have the following opinion.
Right. Well, and that's why I'm asking, do they need us to make an official motion to approve the plan or no? It sounds like they're just looking for staff guidance. Where are your concerns? You state your concerns as Tom did, and then we move on. Or do they need us to approve the preliminary idea so that they can continue with design concept work? Like, where does this go next? Does
But
it come to?
that's where I don't know that, Kim, since we have zero authority where the site is, right, where the building is. Pleasant View
Right.
Golf Course. I mean, I suppose if you have concerns over this building, by all means, now would be the time to address it. Maybe that's also what they're looking at, right? I personally, I think, it's been a nice relationship with the CXC taking over the trails. It's been a nice relationship with the parking moving to CXC site in the winter months. It's helped PBGC staff out, and rightfully so. It should be over there because they can now control it, whereas in uncontrolled environment over at our course. It's been a nice partnership with the Middleton Bike Park in the mountain bike community. It has alleviated a number of stresses that the Pleasant View Golf Course staff has experienced over the number of years. It's been a good thing for, I think, Pleasant View Golf Course, and I believe it'll be a good thing for the city of Middleton. It seems like it's far enough back away from the golf course property line where it's not a huge concern in regards to maybe noise, right? Can't say that we won't hear noise from them, but we hear noise from the quarry, right? We hear noise from Pleasant View Road. So I personally don't have concerns from an operation standpoint, other than we're probably going to have to look at fencing areas to ensure that pedestrian activity or not unwanted pedestrian activity doesn't occur on the golf course, right? So we're going to have to pay attention to those things, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't approve or weigh, a positive opinion on the building, I guess, right? I think
Right.
my biggest concern is the trail system on Pleasant View Golf Course land. I do not agree with it. I don't think that we should pave on Pleasant View Golf Course land. I think that would be a mistake until we learn more.
I think that's fair.
One of the things that's going to come up eventually, Jeremy, and probably I'm going to ask you to think about formalizing the handshake agreement on the winter trails.
I think that's a good idea too.
Just clear it up for future engagements.
We do have a like in writing, right? But it could be something that's more binding.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I've got guidances in terms of. I feel like at this time we cannot approve or disapprove, right? To your points, and essentially can't endorse the trail system until we have more information.
Okay, I think we're at a good point with this. Anybody else?
Oh, I think that's fair.
Haven't heard. I'm sorry, Kim.
No, I said I think that's fair. I'm ready to move on.
Okay. Michelle, you have an opinion on this?
No, I mean, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense that it is on there for all the reasons you all have mentioned. Agree.
Thank you. Okay, Jeremy,
Okay,
got your
so moving
statement?
on, so we're at, like golf course, golf course and clubhouse master plan, maintenance building, capital reserve study. So golf course master plan, I did send back a lot of notes to Kevin Norby, that had happened in the last, I would say, 2 weeks or so since we've met. Have not heard back from him just yet, so I'm sure he's refining all the things that I've sent him, all the notes that I sent him, and we'll be waiting to hear back from him. The clubhouse master plan, the building, to be honest, has taken a seat compared to getting the maintenance building going. We did get hopefully final plans today. Now, we did not have an opportunity to vet those internally because we were with the USGA consultant today, but we're hoping to take a look at those either tomorrow or Wednesday, and then hopefully getting this project out to bid so that we can start building our maintenance expansion and have a better facility down there for staff, for equipment, etc. And then the capital reserve study, I did send them the master plans along with my notes that I had. And so the capital reserve study, they are going to build off of the initial master plan. And he said he should, or our consultant said that they should have those plans to us late September, early October. So I should have a further update on the capital reserve study for you during our October meeting. So.
Good.
Any
Okay.
questions?
No. Can I have my screen back?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yep. That better?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I guess we're capital reserve discussion.
Yeah, I think I don't want to put this. I really think we need to get our mechanic in front of you guys, and we need to have a conversation in terms of what we believe in and what maybe other public believe in. We are taking things in consideration, contrary to popular belief by some, and it's unfortunate that that it is not seen as such. But we are looking at the future. We are looking at various systems to help make our processes more efficient or make things autonomous. I think this committee, we need to decide where are we going, right? What's our priority, and how are we going to get there, right? And I think part of this capital reserve discussion needs to entail some of these autonomous options that are out there.
I'm not convinced. I'm sorry.
We don't believe that it's there yet, but we do believe that it's coming, and we're embracing that. We're excited for it. So I would like you to hear maybe some pain or some why from our mechanic as well. I think we have a lot of valuable information that we can share to you all that we don't have opportunities to discuss all that frequently, right? Yeah.
I've got to freeze up. I don't know if the rest of you are froze. I'm froze up here.
Oops, you're not frozen now. I'm go ahead, Mark. Mark, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, everything kind of froze up on me. I wasn't sure if it was just on this end or if you were all experienced the same thing. No?
We have.
Okay, it was just an issue on my end. Okay, I'm good now.
Ooh, that's what you wanted to say?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was frozen. Yeah, it was froze up. I didn't know if I needed to reboot.
I didn't know that's
what
I didn't know that was the subject. My bad. Never mind. So
would it be beneficial to have the mechanic and the superintendent, since the superintendent is probably the one that is also in communications with the salespeople that are selling the equipment, and know exactly where these autonomous mowers are are going. I know that I talked to a salesperson for Toro, and he says they're a couple years out from these. And your best case scenario is, and part of the reason that they are behind on this, or I should say not behind, the reason they're taking their time is there's a huge liability, especially with the rough mowers, and the fact that you do need manpower. A lot of the things that Jeremy had already said. I mean, you need to be watching these mowers. You can't just leave them out there. Eventually that will be the case, but you've got issues such as that. Probably starting much smaller, having something smaller, but you know, the superintendent and the mechanic both would have a lot more information and would probably be beneficial for all of us to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly invite Matt, our superintendent. Eric is going to have the most information in terms of the equipment and what he sees. But it was a little alarming today because we had a really in-depth conversation with the USGA consultant today, and the lack of endorsement is what scares us. The lack of experience is what scares us. And if we want to be a pilot, that's fine. But what we'd be looking at, like a one of these Husqvarna mowers, the largest one it's a $35,000 mower, right? And you're looking at it is going to be really subject to the par 3 golf course only, because what we're being told is it can mow roughly 15 acres a week. Okay, and that's just what we've been told. We haven't, but again, he doesn't know a whole lot about this because there's not a lot of golf courses that have done this. It is a very, very new technology, and we are, and he's been to the course, the golf course that was the demo for one of those mowers, right? He's actually seen it in person, and it's just alarming how many people cannot say right now, yes, this is what you should do. And if we want to test it, that's fine. But gosh, I mean, that's a lot of money to spend for the par 3 course where we're going. It takes us an hour and a half to mow the par 3 course a week. We'd love to spend that money that can reach other areas of the golf course too. And those are some conversations I think we all need to have, right? So do we want to be one of the first? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't want to be first. As I said in my letter back to Bob, there's danger in being first, especially with technology that is not generally available elsewhere. But my biggest concern is, if this is such a booming market, why is Husqvarna the only vendor? There's got to be a business reason for that.
I know that.
I'm also concerned that putting autonomous mowers out may not be our most effective sustainability move, because there's other things to be looked at, considered options. We want to do something, we should want to do the right thing, not the thing that we're getting maneuvered into. And frankly, I really feel like we're being really maneuvered and manipulated into putting the autonomous mowers in. I'm not at all against sustainability. Those of you who were on the committee the last time Bob approached us, he and I agreed on heat pumps. I've been using them for years. I think it's a good deal. But that's a widely distributed technology that's just not. I still do not believe that Pleasant View is a good spot to try autonomous mowers. We're called the Goat Hill for a good reason. It's not an easy place to deal with.
And the other thing too is, I think it's really important to understand that we have hybrid mowers. To say that we haven't done things towards sustainability is an incredible inaccurate statement. We have hybrid and diesel mowers that we're using and filling up once a week. That's it. I mean, we believe we are making some tremendous strides towards being more efficient. Clearly some people disagree, but we feel like we're doing really good things and recycling equipment that others are dismissing, right? We're purchasing equipment and we're finding use from them. And again, we could argue that that's recycling. People, again, will see that in a different way, but I think it'd be a really good spot for us to just have a conversation with our mechanic, and he's always wanted to join the meeting. He prefers to do it in person, so maybe we could have an in-person meeting in October.
Works for me.
It's just
I'd
a
be in
thought.
favor of that. No, I like that idea, actually coming to the course, actually talking to the mechanic. I like that idea.
And if we want to get a plan going, great. Let's get a plan going. You know, how we even talked about it'd be great one day if they got autonomous trap brakes. You know, now we're
Yeah,
going,
right.
gosh, we'll sign up for that. You know, we're excited about that. We're excited about autonomous fairway mowers. We are very excited about it. It's just the technology is so darn new for golf course, because it is a rather niche market, right? I mean, how many other areas are mowing fairways, right? I mean, you got to have a specialized piece of equipment for that, right? And they did. And here's the other concerning piece is they did have autonomous greens mowers, and that went out of business. And unfortunately, these clubs that purchased these greens mowers were then left high and dry. And we could talk about more of that in October. But these are all concerns that we have. You know, I mean, if we spend 30, 40 grand on autonomous mower for the par 3 course, and then 2 years later it's out of business, now what? But I don't think Husqvarna is, or however you pronounce it, is going to go out of business, because it seemed to be tried and true over the last couple decades. But these are all things that we're talking about, and we have these conversations quite often. I mean, very often within the team. And we'd be happy to present you all in when we're ready to make the purchase. We'd be happy to present you what our recommendation is and why, what maybe an EV option would be, and then we'd be happy to present, hey, here's an autonomous option, and we can make informed decisions. And that's the other thing that, you know, this is just a budget, right? We're not approving equipment right now.
Before we get to that, Jeremy, I want to be sure that we're doing the right thing. I don't want to say autonomous EV this or EV that just to take the pressure off us from this group of people. Their hearts are in the right place, I suspect, but I don't know that they understand what you have to deal with at the golf course. And I'm sure they don't understand what you've already done. And I'm not convinced that EV mowers is the best investment.
Tom, we would agree with that. And I think that's why I think it'd be good to hear from the person that does work on these mowers. And again, you know, we're in the trenches, right? We're the ones that are there dealing with this stuff. And it's easy to tell somebody, hey, you should do this, spend your money this way, you need to buy that. When been on property very, very little compared to how many times we've been.
Agreed. I'm ready to move on from this.
Okay.
Any
But
other?
so I think it's you good with maybe an in-person meeting in October?
Yes.
Cool, great. 6:30, right, Kim?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kim, you have anything to say from the council?
I would encourage any or all of you who are interested in budget discussions to attend the finance committee meeting on the 23rd. We're going to talk, every department has their own piece that needs to be presented. If you want to know what's going on with the city budget, that's the best place to get the information the fastest. At the very least, if you don't want to zoom in on a Monday night, because, football, feel free to read the minutes at least and reach out if you have any questions for us. We've got a lot of things kind of moving along in the city, generally speaking. I encourage everyone to attend, if you can, a Conservancy Lands meeting. They've been meeting in various parks around the city. Gives you a good idea of where we're going with that. That's another master plan that the city is working on. Kind of a big deal going forward. That'll be in discussion tomorrow at Common Council. And if you have not already done so, there is a really excellent survey put out by the Pedestrian Bicycle Transit Committee about how people get around the city. Nice to be able to make your voice heard as far as how you would like things moving forward in Middleton to go. I know we had a brief discussion about, actually not brief, we had a long discussion about that particular trail, but there are lots of others in different places that connect up and do great things. And it's a good idea to give the city planning department and the Common Council a good idea of what the residents of Middleton really want to see as far as their pedestrian options, bicycle options, and transport options.
Hey, Kim, if I could just, so you mentioned the Finance Committee meeting on the 23rd and budget.
Yes.
And then obviously the ped and bike survey.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the middle piece that I missed that? I'm sorry.
Oh, Conservancy Lands are meeting. They're going around the various parks, and I would encourage folks to join one of those informational meetings if you can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We could be done. We need a meeting for October.
Yeah, okay. So if we did third Monday, that would put us on the 21st. Kim, is that, do you have your?
Let me grab my calendar really quickly here. I think that's clear. Because we should have Public Works on the 14th and the 28th, so the second and fourth meeting every week, or every month, pardon me.
Do we want, you know, I'm not exactly sure, do we want to set maybe multiple meetings just in case?
We certainly can.
Just, I worry about lack of agenda items, you know, unless we're getting into that. Oh, but we got Q3 though. We have Q3 numbers. Maybe we should try to make that 21st work. Okay.
6:30 at the course, 21st.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I forgot we have Q3 numbers. That's probably good for us to go through those.
That's an on-site meeting. Did I hear that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, future agenda items. I know the list looks pretty good.
Indeed.
Can take 2 out.
Yeah, 2 and maybe 3, depending. You know, like that. There might be an update.
I think 3 might hang around for a while.
Okay. Okay. And then I should have an update for the capital reserve study, right?
Good.
And maybe the master plan, and then hopefully some. Yeah, it'd be a good meeting to do on the 21st. Good.
All right.
Great.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.
7:26. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. Have a good night, and imagine I'll see you at the golf course. And Kim, I'll probably see you at finance on the 23rd.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.